Have you ever met that one person who keeps talking about the law of attraction? They're like, look, if you could see it and you believe it, then you can achieve it. And in 2018, a lot of these law of attraction content was getting a lot of great publicity. They're like, yeah, read Think and Grow Rich. It talks a little bit about law of attraction. And it was getting a lot of great publicity. But by 2021, law of attraction became a joke by large groups of people because a lot of people were just stuck on imagination. But they weren't talking about creativity enough. And here's the difference. Imagination is what I call a potential energy, while creativity is what I call kinetic energy. And it's best when you have both. Let me tell you a quick story about the time when I learned about the difference. When I was first creating my website, the web developer also happened to be a great photographer. And he said, Armani, since you're getting a website built with me, I'm going to go ahead and give you a free photo shoot. So your boy was over here trying to get his modeling on, or a nice suit, and I was taking a bunch of pictures. After we had the pictures, we came to Starbucks and we were deciding how to design the site, just so it has the maximum aesthetics. And that's when I noticed that this web developer was technically sound in building a website, but he didn't quite understand the aesthetic appeal of how to build a website. He was sitting on my left. And as we're over here bickering about where certain of these images should go, there was a guy to my right. He was a homeless man, a smelly homeless man, but an enlightened homeless man nevertheless. He said, hey, you. He nudges at me. I said, what's up, homeless man? He said, this picture that you're trying to put on this third page, this should be your home picture. That's when I tell the guy to my left, hey, bring that picture to home. He did it. And once he did it, I looked at it and I thought, whoa, this looks amazing. How have we been missing this the entire time? And I look at the guy, the homeless guy again, and I say, what else can you do? And that's when he says, well, this picture, it should come over here because the lighting and stuff, the color gradients, he's using all of these graphic designing phrases, matches this picture more. And I'm like, how the hell do you know about all of these graphic design stuff? He said, I used to be a graphic designer. And I was like, wait a minute, man. How did you go from being a graphic designer to being a homeless man? And I realized that a lot of homeless folks used to be at the top of their career until some bad stuff happened that took them away from the top. But now is not the time to ask questions like that. This man has crazy imagination. And this is when I started to notice something. The guy to my right, the homeless man, had insane potential energy in his mind. But the guy to my left, the web developer, had insane creativity. He knew how to use the tools. Now imagine if I was missing one or the other. Let's say the homeless man wasn't there and I just had the web developer. The thing is, he knew how to use the tools. He had the kinetic energy, but we didn't have as great direction. Now flip it. Imagine that we just have the homeless man in this scenario, but we don't have the web developer. And this homeless guy is saying, put this picture here, put that picture here, shift these two pages. I don't know how to use the tools. He doesn't know how to use the tools. And now we're stuck. Imagination needs that vehicle to be let out. And to allow this vehicle to get out, we need to know how to use the tools. Now, at this point, some people are like, wait a minute. I'm team imagination, and someone else is going to be like, well, I'm team creativity. That's what a lot of people do. They try to compare and compete two forces that are complementing with one another. It's best if you have both because it's a wheel. Initially, in the beginning stages, when you have great imagination, it's not that great. The reason why I say it's not that great is because right now, I could picture a lot of great things in my mind. I could say, I picture me flying right now. But let's say I'm actually trying to fly. the law of physics is not on my side. It's like, with all due respect, bud, you can't fly at this moment. And creativity allows us to get that reality check. It's like, look, you can't fly, but what are you going to do about it? The imagination gave me the direction, but the creativity is now going to allow me to get real world data. Once I have that real world data, that's when I'm capable of coming back and fueling my imagination with relevant data points. And once I have relevant data points, that's when I'm capable of refining the creativity even more. It works back and forth. And the reason that a lot of these law of attraction folks were getting roasted, especially around early 2020 to 2021, was because they were stuck on imagination. They were like, yes, if you could see it and you believe it, then you can achieve it. But they weren't talking about creativity enough. The thing with the law of attraction is that you're supposed to build that imagination and then get moving. If you don't get moving, what happens is that you're just sitting and you're picturing yourself flying too much, not operating in reality. When you get lost in law of attraction with just the imagination side, that's when you become a little too whimsical. But once you get your limbs involved, that is when you become realistic.